Well, from the cars that we drive to the clothes that we buy, AI is rethinking the way fashionistas bargain hunt. New to the AI space is Sophia. It's a free iOS app and mobile browser extension that instantly compares prices on that one special luxury item that you've had your heart set on. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive are the founders of Sophia, Phoebe Gates and Sophia Kianni. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much for having us on.
It's great. So Phoebe, where did the idea come from? Let's start there.
I think really for us, we realized very early on we met at Stanford, really this notion that this space really hasn't been developed in for a long time since we moved to e-commerce. And there really is no way to answer that question that every consumer has, which is, frankly, should I buy this item? And so for us, we're constantly hunting for the best deal. And this idea of could you get the best deal in one click is really where the idea came from. And naturally, as roommates, we did fight over clothes.
Very funny. And you're not roommates now. You told me that before we came onto the air, but you are working together to build this app. So Sophia, take us through kind of some of the specifics of the app and how this works.
Totally. So you can really think of Sophia as Google Flights, but for fashion. So as you're shopping, say you find a $200 bag that you're interested in, most likely that bag is available for half the price on a secondhand market, or even $50 off on a retail market. And so what Sophia does is in one click, as you're shopping on Safari, you can click the Should I Buy This button, and it will find every single item that's available from across the internet so that you can save a ton of money and you can save time. And so you can basically download Sophia at sophia.com as a mobile app. And then when you use it on your phone, the shopping assistant pops up and then tells you, nope, that's too expensive. Here's a cheaper alternative.
Yeah, Phoebe, obviously, too, you're working with 40,000 retailers. That's pretty astounding as well. You've also got some famous names that are behind the company. Kris Jenner, obviously, a big famous name. And you yourself, of course, the daughter of Bill Gates, another famous name. We'll get to him in a second. But I do want to ask, overall, I mean, one of the things that I've seen with the proliferation of, say, the real is just concerns about fakes out there.
Yep.
Is there a way to prevent that from happening in your technology?
Totally. So the way we see ourselves functioning is really as your shopping assistant. So while we're not taking on the actual items and doing authentication ourselves, what we can do is display to you whether an item is authenticated or not, what the partner's authentication policy is, whether they're authenticating that item in-house, they're outsourcing it, whether they have a fee for that authentication, and what the actual condition for that item is. So we display all of that information to a consumer, kind of like Sophia mentioned for Google Flights, when they're like, hey, this is a cheaper flight, but you're going to have to make that connection. And so our goal is really just to give the consumer all the information so that they can decide which item is right for them to buy.
And the aggregator part of this, I think, is what is so interesting in all of this. But I'm curious, we talk a lot about tariffs right now. Obviously, that's the big news story that we're covering. You've got Shein, you've got Temu, you've got these companies out, in China that are being affected by tariffs. Have you seen any kind of change in interest in the demographics or who's coming and using your app, downloading in particular the extension because of the, I guess, environment we're in right now with retail?
What's really fascinating is that the secondhand industry already was projected to reach over $40 billion by 2028, and tariffs definitely have increased consumer appetite for shopping secondhand because you can find something that would have been brand new for over 75% off. And that should be something that we've seen that our mostly Gen Z and millennial female consumer is really interested in getting the best deal. And often that's by not shopping fast fashion, but instead buying a high quality garment that you can actually keep and use for a long time, but getting it at the best price possible.
Yeah, and the average age is, I think, 26 is the average age of those that are using your site. So it is you're reaching that younger, I'm assuming mostly female,
savvy consumer.
Savvy consumer.
Girls who want to shop like a genius, they come to Sophia.com.
All right, well, speaking of geniuses, your father, certainly Phoebe, is one. So, he's been in the news a lot. First off, what did you learn from him that is helping you now shape your new role as an entrepreneur?
I think the biggest thing I really took away from my father was this idea that talent is everything on your team, and learning to hire people, not to tell them what to do, but to let them shine. And that's really been a thing that we focused on at Sophia, whether that's from me and Sophia, meeting as roommates and deciding to work together and focusing on, both of our strengths. She's incredible at marketing. That's not my strong suit. And so really learning, okay, who on the team can shine in this area and what are my weaknesses and where can, I hire for that. So that's been a big learning that I think my dad's been very, very helpful on.
Was he helpful as far as the technology aspect of all of this, or did you already have that in the bag because of you were born into this? Into
I'd say he isn't exactly my target consumer, so I don't think he was super helpful in being like, oh, the search algorithm is doing well there, it's not doing as well there. But he was really helpful in the larger kind of scale principles of, hey, how do you run an organization well? How do you learn quickly? Those kind of things he was incredible on.
How about you? What have you learned through all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would echo what Phoebe said. The best part of building Thea has just been the incredible team that we've put together, and shout out to our engineering team for putting so much time and energy into building our app and mobile extension. And I think we also have really learned that it's super important to listen to your customer. So Bill is not necessarily that 26-year-old girl who wants to shop like a genius, but we bring in women every single week into our office to give them pizza, ask them for their honest thoughts on the app and the extension, and we've learned so much from these girls. Like, we're really building the tool that they wish existed.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I'm right there with you. I think it's fascinating. Phoebe, before you go, I got to ask you, your dad did make some big news. He's giving all of his money away. He's going to be, shutting down the Gates Foundation over the next 20 years, $200 billion. Did he call you to have a conversation with you before he made this announcement?
Definitely. This is something we've spoken about early on since we were a family, just the importance of the Gates Foundation, the idea that to whom much is given, there's a lot of responsibility. So I'm super proud of the work that both him and my mom is doing through Pivotal Ventures.
I was going to say your mother as well is doing a lot of work in that. Well, you are two young female entrepreneurs. Congratulations on the launch. We're going to be watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Try it out.